Hi.
How y'all doing?
It's Day. First of all, I never get tired of the intro, okay? I never get tired of that intro. It's Thursday, y'all. What y'all doing? What y'all got going on? Y'all happy to see us? Because we happy to see y'all. Hello?
Yes. Welcome to Puff Mistress Presents. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm your host, the Puff Mistress.
And I am your co-host, Ash B. And we are just so excited that you decided to spend your Thursday evening with us. You know?
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Facebook user.
Okay, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. If you are in the group, because you could be new to the group, go in the featured section and you'll see a post that says StreamYard. Click on that, give StreamYard permission so that we can see your name. If you do not do that, when you make a comment, please put your name in the comment so we can shout you out because we want to know who we talking to.
Okay.
All right. Well, how y'all doing today?
Hey, Lisa.
Hey,
oh,
Lisa.
real quick. I know y'all see this cute course that I got on. This is Puff Mistress. Okay, Val.
Lisa, let us know if you can hear us clear. Can you hear us real good? Let us know that you can hear us good. You know, we got these new microphones.
Y'all.
Hey, Keisha.
Thank you, girl.
You can hear us clear? Shout us out. You can hear us clear. Let's put a comment. Say yes in the comments so we can know that y'all can hear us clear. Yay! We got to upgrade our technology around here.
We're getting ready for our late night so we can take over the late night world.
Yes.
From the Jimmys, okay?
Yeah.
And you heard it here first. We take it over from the Jimmys, okay? You heard it here first. Thanks.
How are you doing? Yeah, well, we are so happy to be here today because we have a good topic today. We're going to talk about sex and dating.
First of all, sex is always a great topic.
Dating, because everybody is having a hard time in the dating world right now. I don't know what's going on, but
I was looking at something today and somebody was like, the dating pool is like Lake Lanier right now.
Lake Lanier.
Sorry, that's definitely an Atlanta reference or Georgia reference. But if you've been watching the news at all or paying attention to anything going on, you know that Lake Lanier is weird. Okay,
you don't want to swim in there.
You don't ever want to touch that water ever.
The dating pool is weird. It is weird, and you know it's hard to navigate it. You know,
it has pee in it.
And it has. I'm not gonna say it has urine in it.
I think there's urine in it.
But it's come from both sides too. So I hear.
I think it's.
So I hear.
No, I mean I just mean in the pool. Period. I just like to pee in the pool. Period. I don't. I mean, boy.
It's a little brown. It's a little discolored.
Yeah, it's discolored. It's not clear. It's time for everybody to get out for an adult swim. Okay? Cause what?
we got in the room before we got
the building. What's going on? What y'all doing?
How was y'all week?
Are y'all tuning into us?
It's got boo boo in it.
Is that so?
You said it got boo boo in it.
Not boo boo in it. I was trying to be nice with the pee, but you said it's the whole piece. Okay.
Well, listen, we're going to have to shut our girl out. See her in the background. Maverick now holding us down in the background.
Come on.
Yes. Handling all of our social media. Y'all be seeing my content. Y'all be seeing it.
With the serious pose, the tax pose, and the real estate pose. That's why I know she's serious.
Yes. She always keeping us on our ones and our twos and keeping us on time.
Yes. So come
we be talking.
Your social media and whatever it needs.
Holla at her. So listen, from this point on up until the Body Positive show, I will only feature sponsors that are sponsoring the show. FYI. So we have some sponsors, but we haven't done their logos and all that stuff yet. So right now, the Body Positive show is sponsoring Let's Talk About It for right now. So bam, there you go. But going forth up until November 4th, we're going to highlight all of the sponsors that are actually sponsoring the show. So every week we do Let's Talk About It. Those are the sponsors that we're going to highlight.
So what I'm hearing is not only do you get to be a sponsor for our show, hello, and get your exposure there to all the wonderful and beautiful guests that will be there that evening.
Upwards of 200.
Upwards of 200 people. Hello. Do you hear that? I hear some cha-ching, cha-ching for your business is what I hear. You also get to be featured right here on our show every Thursday live at 7 p.m. Let's Talk About It. So it sounds like this is a great deal. So you sign up for one sponsorship and get two.
Oh
my, y'all better get on in here. I don't know what you're waiting on. What are we talking about? An investment for a 2-for-1 to bring more business to your life and more money.
And we do direct sponsorships at the show. Every guest at the show gets a swag bag. So whatever marketing materials you have, or if you have any samples, anything, it will go in each bag, and each guest will get that bag. You'll also be featured here. You'll be featured on the website. You'll be featured on the Body Positive site. You'll be shouted out on social media pages. So again, I believe in direct marketing, and that'll be continuous. So
and trust me, you want to be in the swag bag. Our swag bags are epic. Puff Mistress swag bags are epic. There's not a time where after the show someone hasn't hit Puff up and been like, "Hey, do you have extra swag bags?"
Right.
There's a lot of good stuff in there. No. Because I took them all for myself. Just know I'll be taking them home. Listen, you don't take your swag bag? That's fine. I'll be taking it right home to myself. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Swag bag is nice, honey. So look, our lower sponsorship is $150. And you can market to every single guest there. Now, if you want to sponsor a model, our model sponsorships are $25. You can pay $25 and pick which model you want to sponsor, or you want to sponsor several models.
You're saying $150 for is that the bottom tier?
That's the bottom tier for the businesses. If you want to be a business sponsor, then it's $150.
So what I'm hearing is $150 to be a bottom tier sponsor, which means you get your name out to over 200 plus people at the show. That's less than $1 per person for advertising. Yeah. Hello?
And put your marketing materials in every swag bag. And it's splattered
every swag bag.
Yes, tickets are still available.
Unfortunately, it sounds like you haven't gotten your ticket yet. Get on it.
Now, I don't know how long. I have to catch up and see where my VIP is. The VIP usually sells out first.
It does. So if you want to get in there and you want to, first of all, every seat is an amazing seat. Let me start there.
You just get a little bit more perks.
VIP is just a little bit more. There's
you get access to the saloon room. That's going to be a separate.
Y'all not ready for some of this stuff that's about. I don't want to talk too much. Don't tell too much to the people. Because I don't want to give out too much.
Just know it's an immersive experience. Everybody has to dress in the theme. The theme is 80s. Okay,
started on dressing up. Just make sure you dress up. Okay.
80s, the 80s theme. So
I'm gonna give you a nasty look the whole night.
Oh, you gonna feel.
You gonna feel out of place. You gonna
everybody dresses up.
You gonna feel out of place, and I'm gonna make sure that I know that you know that I was feeling some type of way about you being out of place.
Now afterwards, she probably gonna talk about you.
I am. I'm gonna talk about you right here.
She don't like cool stuff either.
No, not.
She's still talking about that outfit I took from her from the second show. I'm on my fourth show.
I am.
I'm on my fourth show.
It's still a part of my story.
The penny still goes on.
It's a part of our Puff Mistress story, okay?
And I want to get into this topic because this is a very good topic.
Oh, girl, what we talking about? Yeah. What we telling people?
I mean, keep your phone out because this is what I want. This is how I
want
to
start
this.
You want me to go to the comments? Okay,
yes.
We're gonna go to the comments. The people talking about.
Because you need to be in our group, Puff. The Puff Mistress presents. Let's talk about it group on Facebook because that's where the magic happens first.
And it's juicy in there, y'all.
It is.
It's juicy in there. You listen. Be careful. Don't tell all your business. I'm gonna say it's a safe space, but girl,
it is.
There's stuff in there. Okay, it's a safe space though.
So if you're a member of the group, I normally post a topic ahead of time so we can have a good discussion about it first, and then we'll talk about it on set. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read what I initially posted in the group, and then read a couple of comments, talk about that, and then we're going to get into some more points about the subject.
Okay, hold on. I'm pulling up the post. Y'all be posting so much in the group. There's so much y'all be telling us all the stories. I mean, that's a great thing, but hold on. Let me find where I'm looking. Hold on.
And that's what we want to foster anyway. We want to foster adult conversations and foster them in a healthy environment, because sex is a topic. It is the thing, and it's a thing that's always been taboo, which I don't know why, because we've grown. And most of us are here as a result of it. So we should be able
to say most. All of us.
Well, it's like people get pregnant via other.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm thinking. Hold on, y'all. Don't judge me because I was there like, hey, everybody here from sex, but I forgot about there are other ways now. I'm sorry. No judgment. Y'all forgive me. Hey, listen, I ain't even had too much of my drink yet neither. I'm like, don't y'all get sex? I forgot that y'all get things. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, whatever.
So the question that I pose, if you really pay attention to the question,
I'm gonna read the question, but this is not the right post because there's only 2 comments on it, so I know this is not the original one that you posted. I think this is just when you reshared it today, but I'm gonna go ahead and share the question and then I'll keep looking.
Okay.
All right. So Puff Mistress Mentionables presents sex while dating. Ooh. What? Ooh. Okay. Last time you were intimate while single, did you do it for 1, strictly carnal pleasure, just because you wanted to do it and needed intimacy? How did you feel after? Would you do it again or wait? Or Number two, were you doing it because you were dealing with someone you really cared for and wanted intimacy from them? Are you still with them? Do you wish you could undo it? Elaborate.
So while you look for the original, you can
I'm gonna
sort
look for
it
the original
on
one.
the side and put it in order. So
How do I sort?
y'all excuse us.
Excuse us, because this group be putting everything where it wanted to go. Oh,
So now, if you pay attention to how I pose that question, what that question does is it really asks you um, a sex versus intimacy kind of question, right? Where sex is typically the physical, right? It's all about the physical part of the interaction, and intimacy is more about the emotional part of the interaction. So we pose that question to see, from people who, not people who are already in relationships, but even people who were single before they were in relationships. When was the last time they had sex? Was it just because you wanted to get your rocks off? Would you do it again? And if it was an intimacy thing, are you still with that person? Did it, go into a relationship situation? And if not, would you take it back if you could? Like, would you want to undo that situation? And it was a lot of good various answers.
I'm only finding that top. Y'all excuse me, because I'm really trying. Okay, I'm only finding that top pose.
Well, I remember some of them, and some of them some people were very, very honest about it. I'll say for me. So for me, it started off as one. It started off as just having sex, and with no, was trying to keep it a non-emotional situation. But because I am of age now, and
Wait, did you guys both agree to that already? Like you talked about that from the beginning, or
no, and
that's why I was asking.
and that's a good one. No, actually, kind of, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
And
kind of, yeah.
were you clear
Yes.
about what you wanted?
Yeah,
Like
in the
when you started?
beginning, yes.
I feel like you were.
Yes, but because we are human beings, and we continue that situation, we continue the physical part. For me, it turned into an emotional situation. So it turned into number two, but it didn't necessarily turn into that for the other person. But the interactions continued,
And it didn't start that way.
and it didn't start that way. So it started off as just sex, but then because again I'm a human being, it entered into a emotional situation. So and
Yeah.
that's the thing you kind of run into, kind of, and I wanted to know how it was for other people. And some people said that they were able to just have it and just keep it physical without it turning into an emotional thing because that's all they wanted. And then some people said, what happened with me, they started off with sex and then it turned emotional, and it might have just been emotional for the one person and not the other person until it just wasn't anymore. I'm saying it in a nice way.
Right. Here, I'm gonna let you look through. I'm gonna talk about what so for me, I have had I think both situations. I think it's interesting how you can start a situation with somebody and you guys make it clear from the beginning that it's just sex. There it is. And then out of nowhere, somebody catches feelings.
Because we human, and sex is such an intimate thing. You know what I mean? Like it's just we touching, we holding, and for us, it's like being inserted inside of. You know what I mean? Like it's just a very intimate thing.
Are we having like sex? Because you're talking about touching and holding, or are we, excuse my language, fucking? Like there's a difference.
You're still touching when you know what I'm saying. It's still you're still touching being had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it ain't the same.
That's what I'm saying. It's not until it is.
Right.
Because when I was younger, I used to could do that.
Right.
Now it's when you touching me, it feels intimate. You know what I'm saying? It feels intimate. So I think it can be a maturity thing.
Okay, yes.
It can be okay, now I'm sick of this. I can't do this anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Like a situational change.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it also kind of again depends on the interactions that you have with that person.
Right.
If I'm talking to somebody and we're engaging on a regular basis, then what starts off as being just physical can be more intimate because we're sharing more intimate space.
I think that all comes from what we discussed in the beginning. Okay.
Hey, but that can change.
But that I'm fine with
Right.
that. But let's have a conversation once things start changing.
Right.
Because please let me know that you catch feelings. Because if I just put you over here in this category, I'm a compartmentalizer. I tell y'all that all the time. If I put you over here in this compartment, you're gonna stay in that compartment. So we have a conversation that says we move into another compartment. Otherwise, I'm gonna just leave you right where you're at. We just fucking. Okay?
Now here's also what can happen too, and this kind of what happened in my situation too, is I can share those feelings. I can say, okay, well look, this started off this way, but this is happening. So I'm letting you know that this is happening.
Okay.
And in my mind, because we're adults, and you should be human to each other, and you should be kind, because that's how I look at things. If you know that that person is forming feelings, instead of you continuing the situation like that, why not then say, okay, you know what? I'm not going in that direction. I don't want to hurt you, so let me back up.
Assholes. Because they're selfish. And they want what they want. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Oh my God, you're in love with me. I don't really love you too, but I do like fucking you. So I'm just going to keep stringing you along and keep taking advantage of your feelings and emotions that you have for me because I'm still getting sex out of it. So why would I stop that? Selfish shit. Okay? Some selfish and yeah, you don't have any compassion. Right. Sierra, our homegirl back here, you already know her. She just said compassion. That's what it is. You don't have any compassion for the other person. And that just makes you, as Ed likes to say, a shitty person. You're just shitty person.
Now let me do devil's advocate for a minute, because I like to think that everybody isn't just horrible.
Right.
So some people may not know. Okay, here's where I look at it. Okay, so let's do a comparison.
Hold on, real quick. Do you want to get to the comments first, or you want to start here?
Read a couple.
All right, okay, real quick, y'all. We're gonna look at some comments that are on the page while I'm going over these and reading these. If y'all want to go ahead and comment about what we've said so far, go right ahead. All of the above. I'm married 23 years. Happy couple.
And that's good. I used to work.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, don't think I didn't notice.
You've had intimacy all day long, even now, 23 years.
I love that. I love that for you. That's amazing.
And yeah, because that's intimacy. That's not just sex. That's not just carnal pleasure. That's not just us just doing it.
Yeah.
That's us having emotion behind it. That's us having feeling behind it. That's us, you know what I mean? And again, sometimes that comes with maturity.
Right.
Because after a while, ain't but so much pounding me you can do. You know, when dudes approach me right now and they hop in my inbox and they be talking about their penises, dude, I have every kind of penis there is. What are you doing? What else you got? Because that ain't gonna do it, honey.
Just because it's big, and you know what you're doing.
And I expect the big. I mean about that. That ain't even.
That ain't even. It's not big. Okay. Hey y'all.
I miss you too. Okay, put your name.
You talking about we miss you too.
You know, man, I miss you
too. Peace, love, what's up, Gemini?
Girl. So listen, while you look at that, okay. I'm going to do, so sex versus intimacy. Because again, that's what this conversation really is about. Okay. It's about sex versus intimacy, right? So in nature, sex mostly is a primarily physical attribute, right? Yeah. Intimacy is primarily emotional.
I like that term you use, carnal pleasure.
Yes.
Because it really, it kind of, I don't want to say reduces, but it deduces it down to it being just a physical.
Right.
I'm just here for the flesh.
Right. Right.
I like that. Yeah, I think that's a thing.
It is a thing. Yeah. It can't be a thing until it's not. Because I never thought, listen, I'm telling you, when I was younger, not too I can knock them down when I was younger.
Knock you right.
I knock them down.
These little boys that be in her inbox, back up. It's like what you
want. These things still good.
It's like what you want. You gonna F around and find out what it is.
So when I got divorced and I tried to enter into the dating world again, I thought that I was still capable of it. You know what I mean? But what I realized very quickly at 48, because you don't realize that you know how you're changing to get older. Like you don't know. One day you just wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm like this now.
Yeah.
Wait, that music is way too fucking loud. Why is that music so loud? When back in the day, I could ride down the street with my music,
loud as hell.
It just changes as you get older, and then I realized I can't just sleep with people no more. Like it's not. It's more of an intimacy thing now for me than it is, because I did just the sex. I got nothing out of that. I had all those years of just sex. I got nothing out of it, including I barely had I didn't have an orgasm until I was 31 because it was just physical, and I'm an
That's
empathic
tragic.
person. I'm an empathic person. I
Yes.
just did not accept that about myself when I was younger. I didn't realize what it was.
Yeah.
Everything for me is internal. You know, even now to have an orgasm, I have to be, you got to be real quiet. I got to be in my head. It's all, I got to focus. Like for real. It's not just a physical thing for me.
You gotta focus.
I got to focus. I got to focus on it.
You focus. My brain should be focused.
Because my brain is, if I'm thinking of too many things, I can't.
Oh, you mean you gotta focus on this?
I gotta focus.
Okay, because I'm like,
I gotta focus because it's not a physical thing for me. It's an emotional and it's an internal thing. It's not physical. When I'm with my toy, I actually get aggravated with that because it makes me, because it's all physical.
Yeah.
So it goes quickly. I can't enjoy it. I don't have time to enjoy it. Because it just creates a physical reaction, and that's again sex versus intimacy.
That's funny because I'm the opposite. But go ahead.
Grandma toy make me do it in 5 minutes, but I enjoyed it
I need
because
a body.
see, that's what I'm saying. That's sex versus intimacy.
Yeah, I need a body.
If it's just physical, then yeah, you're gonna get a physical reaction.
Yeah.
But if it's an intimate, then I can enjoy it because we working it.
That's true.
We're working it, and it's emotional.
You having fun with that?
Yeah.
All right, you want me to read some comments?
Yeah, read a couple of.
Okay, we're gonna read a couple of comments that were given, some responses to obviously our topic. So let's see here. Okay, so Kai, or is it Kiki?
Kiki.
I always say Kai. No, we do this every time.
I think it's Kiki.
Anyway, Kiki or Kai. Hey girl.
Hey girl.
She said she's an avid how do I say this, listener, watcher?
Kiki is a regular, honey.
She's a regular with us. We love her. Hey girl, we shouting you out. I don't know if you're on tonight, but when you watch the replay, because I feel like she's one of those people who watches the replay.
Yes, I think
you'll see it and you'll see that we shouted you out. Okay, so she said, option number 2, I am no longer with that person. I wish I could undo meeting them in life, period, but there's a lesson in every situation. Number 2 again, because you were dealing with someone you really cared for and wanted intimacy from them. Are you still with them? Okay, she said she's no longer with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I will say about that is, I asked the undo question for a reason. Just because she came back with what I'm going to follow up with.
Okay.
Everything is a lesson. Like I wouldn't undo anything that I've ever done in my life. And I'm talking about I've done some things, honey.
Yeah.
But I always say if those things made me who I am today,
right,
then I wouldn't undo one single thing because that was the formula.
All of these things lined up together is what brought me to this point right here.
Right.
So yeah, I don't regret anything.
And you need that
I don't regret nothing. I'll never do something. I may say that there's something I could have done differently, but again, that's the lesson in it.
Right.
Learning how to handle things differently.
Right. You can't have good without bad.
Exactly.
You have to have.
How do you know what the good is?
Right.
You have to have the bad.
You don't have to do that again, Kiki. That's all.
Don't do it
That's
again,
all, girl.
Okay, somebody said number 1. Again, I'm gonna go back to. I'm just gonna read number 1 real quick, just in case y'all forgot. Number 1 is strictly carnal pleasure, just because you wanted to do it and needed intimacy. How did you feel after, and would you do it again? Okay, so this person said definitely number 1, and I would keep him on my roster. Okay, roster, Jasmine Sullivan, shout out. Okay, roster.
And, and that's okay too, because especially for women, because we have society that makes us feel like it's something wrong when we have a roster, or when we are very connected to our sexual wows.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But what?
I think it just depends. I know for me, I personally can't do a roster of sex. Like I can do a roster of phone conversations, whatever. But like roster of sex, it's not me. It never has been.
Child, I had a roster.
I never had a roster of sex. I don't know
but
why.
We wouldn't make you feel bad about it.
No, I would never feel.
Society is making women feel like we whores. Because listen, if you're an adult and you messing with other adults. And everybody's being responsible, because that's the thing too. Because for some reason people aren't. Yeah,
we're talking about protection.
Condom no more. I don't know what's going on.
It's got to be a diaphragm, whatever it is that you need to
protect diaphragm will protect you from HIV.
No,
and that's the thing. Like people don't. I know it ain't killing people no more, but
no, it's still a thing.
It's
what's killing me is these commercials. Okay, never mind. We're not good at that.
But that's what I'm saying. If everybody's being an adult, if everybody is not hurting other people,
right?
We know what that means. You ain't cheating on your. Then if I'm a woman and I want to, experiment, who is anybody else to make me feel bad about that or make me feel like I'm some kind of whore, for being that way? That whole double standard thing is ridiculous. That I might just want to try some different things out until I figure out, what I want. Some people might have married young and never had that phase of experimenting with different people. And you might need that because you didn't know, me going through all of that has now I know I ain't missing nothing. I've already done it. So now I can just be with that one person and be okay with it because I did the variety. So, it's everybody's life journey is different. It's about where you are in your life. If sex is just it for you, then okay, just have sex and do that. But be honest.
Yeah, that was just about to say that. It's about where you are in your life and make sure that it's a position of growth. Hello?
And be honest.
And be honest with yourself about it.
And then honest with other people.
Yes. Very honest with other people.
Yes. You can't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that live out of town and act like that's not your girlfriend or your boyfriend because they live out of town and then be in town knocking down at people in town. Like that's not okay.
Okay.
As long as you're out
looking dead in the camera so they can.
As long as you are doing whatever you're doing and you're honest about it and you're honest with yourself because another part of that is and I'm not going to say especially for women. I'm only going to say that only because I know this about the women that I know.
Okay.
We tend to act like we can play that friend role because we really like somebody and we put what we need to the side and act like we can be that friend when really we have feelings. And then get our feelings hurt because instead of advocating for what we really wanted, which was not sex, we wanted the intimacy, but we acted like the sex was okay.
Like the friend zone was cool. And
right, but it's not. You got to be honest with yourself. So it's a lot of us right now that are getting hurt because we're getting tried on like clothes because we weren't honest with ourselves about what we need. We didn't advocate that at the beginning and we didn't hold fast to that. So we have to take responsibility for our roles in that because we knew it wasn't right. And we knew we wanted more than that.
Exactly.
And that's okay to advocate for that. And if that person is not on the same page as you, then bye.
And that's all about, again, being honest with yourself.
Right.
And those around you. But please start being honest with yourself first.
Yes.
First.
Are you okay with just having sex?
Take that time to self-reflect. Mm-hmm. See what it is. Okay, what am I getting out of this situation? Is it something that I really want to enter into? Is this person going to be able to reciprocate what it is that I'm looking for, what I can give them?
Right.
All those things. Y'all know this.
Right.
Be honest with yourself first. You know little Ray from down the street already got 7 baby mamas, and he trying to make you number 8. What are you doing? You already know. So figure it out.
And don't just accept that.
Don't be about, oh, me and Lil Ray just cool. We just fuck sometimes. Like, that's what happened with Keisha and Donnell and Ronish and whoever else down the street. They was like, oh, we just cool. But now they baby numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And it's because we get lonely. It's that loneliness. Because listen, it's the difference between being lonely and being alone. Those are two different things.
A lot of y'all scared to be alone.
Yes, it's okay. But you got to be that way sometimes to really, really be one with yourself to know what is okay for you. And if, again, carnal pleasure is not okay for you, then just don't accept that because you're going to get hurt in the end. And this is not just for women because I know some men out there that's doing the same thing and they get hurt by some of these women too. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's just you got to be honest with yourself about what you want. And if you don't just want sex, then hold fast and wait on the person who's going to come and give you more than that. Because just giving your body to somebody is going to create that soul tie. And we tell you, the soul ties is hard to break, honey.
I'm starting to believe the soul tie crap is a mess. I don't know if I believe in it anymore.
I do.
Because I'm starting to feel like it's a mental mess that we tell ourselves to be like, oh my God, it's a soul tie. Like, I think it's the difference between emotion and logic sometimes. Because I feel like soul ties are really an emotional thing.
But that's what makes it a soul tie. It's about what your definition of a soul tie.
Right, but I think it's tied to your emotions, not your logic.
Right, that's what makes it a soul tie. The logic is your ability to think.
But that's why I feel like it's bullshit, because my logic is like, bitch, get it together. These emotions that you're a logical person with this soul tie, I don't believe it. I had to think about it because I was reading about this the other day. I think I don't believe in this anymore. This soul tie mess.
And that's okay for you. Right. That's okay for you. That's okay for you. Because I didn't believe in that at first until I had my last experience. And I couldn't, I'm the most logical person in the world, but I could not walk away from that situation. I could not walk away from that situation.
That was your soul emotionally tied. Emotion.
But that is what I'm calling it, a soul tie. That is why that's my definition of what the soul tie was. It wasn't just me being emotionally, I felt like I was tied to that person and I could not walk away from it. So it wasn't just
What you did, praise God.
yeah, I did.
What she did. Shut up. Okay, sorry, I almost felt it in my spirit, y'all. Okay, so
But that's a part of it too. We have to give everybody the space to define things how they need to define it. You know what I mean? So where because we sometimes we don't give each other our humanity because we're frustrated with the process. So like I had a friend back in the day who used to call me about the same dude over and over again. And now having gone through that situation, back then I used to be like, girl, if you don't leave that dude alone, if you don't leave that alone, I was always half I wasn't as empathetic as I could be because hearing it for me was not me being involved in it.
uh-huh.
It was me being frustrated that my friend was going through it, but I couldn't understand why she kept going through it. And it's because I couldn't understand it because I hadn't gone through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we say things like, girl, just leave him alone. And we don't understand that it's not as easy for that person to just leave that person alone.
No, I agree with that. I just don't think it's a soul tie. I don't think it's that. I definitely listen. I was in it. Okay, when the marriage I should have left a long time ago, but I was like, now I'm like, girl, what was you doing? Okay, anyway.
Well, my marriage was logical. I stayed in that situation for logic. So I knew that was logic.
Me too, but at a certain point, it wasn't. At first, it wasn't that, and then it turned in. Anyway, we'll talk. Well, listen, we can have a full episode on my marriage. Anyway, let's move on. Okay, so we have. Let's do one more. Okay, hold on. We only did a couple for. Here's a good one for number 2 because this is a good. Okay, so this one says number 2. I loved being loved. Still with him, although he's in South Florida. He sends for me every other week. Lift to the airport. He buys my ticket, and we spend time with each other planning. Both of us have 4 kids, and both of our youngest children are in their last year of high school. I'm excited. Next year, I'll be moving to Coral Springs, or he's coming here to Mandarin. We have choices. First of all, big ups to your choices, honey.
Shout out to Monique. That was Monique.
That was Monica.
Sorry, Monica.
Monica, I love that for you, honey.
Yes. Well, that was good. That
Where
worked
you
out
found
for
him at? Because
I'm
just saying, where you found him at? Because there's some chicks out the way that want to get blued out too, girl. What you got going on?
She had an intimacy thing. You know what I mean? So her, and again, Monica is around my age. So I can envision that the answers are probably, when you're a little younger and you're still enjoying the sex part, where the answers can be like a little more different when you're younger and you haven't knocked them down. You know what I mean? And it's just always been that intimacy thing for you. But for me, it was all sex and then it turned into an intimacy thing. So it's just like very different for every different person. That's why I like to pose that question like that. Because for some people it was, I can do the sex thing and it could just be sex. And then some people it was, I did the sex thing and it turned into an intimacy thing. And then some people it just started off as an intimacy thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of varying answers. But here's what I want to get into. So it's some. First of all, let's look at some comments real quick.
Okay, good. I was wondering. Okay.
Let's look at some comments real quick.
What we talked about so far. It's a lot of.
Yes. Some of y'all comments.
Let's go through it. And we'll try to answer before we move on to the next one. We'll answer real quick, or we'll try to acknowledge y'all.
Hey, Tay.
Hey, how are you? Hey, Trina, girl. That's my girl. Hey, girl. She said I'm sick of fucking.
Right. I'm done.
Definitely intimacy. Okay.
Yes. I need to be held. Honey.
Yeah, we'll take it. Go ahead.
An intimate relationship can be deeply personal, allowing each person to be vulnerable with another. While a physical connection can often be associated with this, intimacy doesn't need to be physical to exist. Exactly. There are 3 types of intimacy: emotional intimacy, a deep feeling of closeness, and trust physical intimacy. Includes touching in a way that enhances feelings of closeness and desire. Sexual intimacy combines the physical acts of sex with emotional closeness and trust. Sex by it. Exactly. Because intimacy, you can have intimacy without any penetration at all. You know what I'm saying? Like you and literally feel real connected with somebody. I know people who actually can orgasm without the physical, without the physical interaction, because it's more intimate. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between the sexual part and the intimacy part of it. Yeah, it's very right. Give us some more.
And what else do people got to say? Are y'all in here? Y'all gotta say hello. Oh,
Yeah,
y'all talking about?
hey, sorry, I might come up this way for you. Take in a minute, girl.
Yeah, we did.
I need the intimacy. As I get older, the more I realize the sex really is a sacred energy exchange, and I want to be held and not fucked. Yes, ma'am, unless we have a connection and I can trust you. When I felt sad or depressed, casual sex doesn't fill that void. Afterwards, I'm still looking for the intimacy that I know I need to get from my own spiritual connection with myself and my. Yes, that's where I'm at, girl. That's where I'm at. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Especially when when you have a history of that, it's like afterwards, it's like I don't want that no more. Like I need to be held. I want to feel like what we just did mattered to the both of us. You know what I mean? And it's hard to feel that when it's just physical and you just okay, we're done, and you just roll over and go to sleep. I used to could just get up and leave afterwards, and now I'm like, I don't know, I just needed to I don't know. It ain't knocking them down no more. I've been honest with you this is a go. The fit and the intimacy starts outside of the bedroom long before the act. Absolutely. Women have to be honest with yourself. Yes. Yes. Because we be accepting some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And downplaying our feelings. Hey, that's girl. Downplaying our feelings.
Because we want to be with somebody or we want to talk to somebody. No. And it just makes you feel worse after.
Hold up. I'm sorry. What is this? I'm into tantric alchemy spiritual sex. That's my favorite.
Mm-hmm. That's tantric. Mm-hmm.
Tantric alchemy spiritual sex. I've never heard that phrase before. Thank you for
That's when somebody can touch you and you can orgasm. You know what I mean? Because you have built up so much of that energy that, you know what I mean? Oh, yeah. That's what I need in my life, Jack.
That's a thing.
That's what I need in my life. That's what I need in my life. Thank you, ladies. I'm 21 young and used to be so fond of sex, but I became numb to being disappointed and just having sex. But I've been going through it and realizing I actually crave intimacy. Yes.
Come on, Bree. Yes. First of all, kudos to you for already having these realizations at 21, because I did not.
Yes. But you wasn't out there like that.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
I was already at 21. I was already knocked up with my stupid ass husband. Anyway, okay. Trina said I used to knock them hoes down, baby. Ooh, Lord, but now I don't even want it like that. I got you. I get it, Trina.
It's like it feels so. After a while, it just feels like you feel like a void. You know what I mean? Like I remember the last time I like really did it and it didn't mean anything. Like right after I felt like I wanted to cry. You know what I mean? Like because I just felt like okay, so for me, so I was sexually assaulted when I was younger. So sex for me was just something that I did because I thought that's what you did. You know what I mean? Because I was a child. So I thought that's what you did. So it was like I was just like it was like I was allowing myself to be like assaulted over and over again. You know what I mean? If I was alone in a room with a guy, okay, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, when it came to a point where I was actually doing it because I wanted to, I still don't know if that's why I was doing it or if I felt obligated to do it. You know what I'm saying? So now that I'm older, I'm realizing that I still never really addressed that. So when I start dating somebody, sex is first. You know what I mean? I've never dated and just talked for a good period of time before the sex part because that's what I knew. Okay. So now again, having divorced and I'm out here now for the first time, I'm like, okay, so now I got to do it a different way. I got to take the time to really talk to somebody first and get to know them because maybe that's my path. Because I already did that. Yeah. And I don't like how that feels anymore. Right. So now let me try and get to know a person and then maybe the intimacy will be there and I won't feel like it's that void, which with your experience was different.
Yeah, it was intimacy first. Right. Always for me is intimacy first. Because I feel like I can't even make that leap to intimacy physically if we haven't had it on like an emotional or conversational level. You know what I mean? So that's just me.
Right. So I think it really just depends on what your experiences are. Like she's 21, but she sounds like she had already kind of been out there. Sex, yeah. So now she's like, okay, I don't like this. Yeah. And now I want to do something different. And and that's great, girl. That's great at 21 that you get to that point.
That's amazing.
Because you have to put yourself at the forefront of you. Like you said, be honest with yourself about, is this really making me feel good? Yeah. Am I really getting satisfaction out of this? Is this what I want? You know what I mean? Versus you, okay, let's have sex and be obligated to have sex. Or
Right.
that's the thing you do.
Or we just you just going through the motions.
Right.
You know what I
That's
mean?
going through the motions. Because all that sex I had, no orgasms. By the time I was 31,
That's sad.
I had plenty of sex by the time I was 31, but not one orgasm. I didn't even realize I wasn't having an orgasm until I had one. And the first one was with a toy. And I was like, ooh, what's this? You know what I'm saying? So that's
Girl,
what
that
I'm
makes me
saying.
sad. It makes me
And
sad.
still I can count them. You know what I mean? Like I still can because it's an emotional thing.
Okay, so young boys, go ahead and I told you
No.
fair, but go ahead and get her DM.
No.
She needs some.
Don't.
You can
Don't.
teach them. You wanna
I ain't teaching nobody nothing. Okay, I'm done.
Oh yeah, you did. Hold on. Was that, did we say that on the episode? Or was that just a normal conversation where you was like, I'm at the age now where like I'm not teaching anybody anything. Like
I'm almost 50. We're not doing that. Now that being said, you do kind of have to teach the person that you're with how to please you specifically.
I agree with that.
Right, because they need to learn you, and that's not something you can. And that's another thing about sex versus intimacy. When you just have sex with somebody for the first time, they don't know how to please you. Not really.
Yeah.
Because they don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a minute to really know the person and know how to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that kind of correlates too with sex versus intimacy.
Agreed.
So, you know, it's
all about communication and have these conversations too with these people, whoever you're dealing with, man, woman, whoever, about like, okay, where are you at? Here's where I'm at.
Right.
Where are you?
And that's a good segue to the questions that I had.
All right, and now it's time for our questions.
Yes. We're gonna call this the confidence tip. The tips.
Oh, this is the confidence?
Yes.
And now it's time for our confidence tip, presented to you by Puff Mistress. I love to do that. Yeah. You ain't want me to do it?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, but still, y'all know this is just my normal.
You got a nice graphic, but she got to do it. She got to do it.
Hey. Tip. Ow. Y'all see that graphic our girl 904 Media put together?
Here are some thought-provoking questions that you can ask on the topic of sex and intimacy. These questions can lead to meaningful discussions and deeper insights into your own and with your partners about the views and feelings on sex versus intimacy. So let's say on sex, you can ask your partner or the person that you just start dating, you know, for the first time, because we should set our boundaries. We should talk about what we want at the beginning, our expectations, and we should not be afraid to do that. Don't worry about pushing them away. If you push them away, that ain't the person, for you. So, and that's another thing that we do. No, at the beginning. So this is on sex. What does a satisfying sexual relationship look like to you? That's a great question to ask somebody at the beginning. How do you communicate your sexual desires and boundaries with a partner? Have you ever had an experience where sex felt disconnected from emotional intimacy?
Yes.
What was that like for you? Ask these questions of the person. You can ask the person that you're already dating. Ask these type of questions to them and see if you guys have the same kind of answers or if you're on the same wavelength. What are your thoughts on sexual experimentation and trying new things in the bedroom? And that's a scary topic for some people too.
It is. It's funny because when I was talking to my man Al, shout out to him. When I was talking to him about some stuff,
I don't have no man. It's okay. Go ahead.
Shout out to my man. Thank you to my man. As Ronald was saying, we have those conversations all the time. Like, because he would say in the beginning, it was funny. Very on, he was like, "Yeah, I'd be afraid to bring up certain things or things that I was thinking about or wanted to try because he was like, I just thought automatically like." The woman would get mad or would feel like she wasn't enough because he's asking for something different other than what she normally does. Or, you know, it just being a very awkward and sticky situation that almost, you know, would make him hesitant to even talk about anything because he's like, well, I didn't know how she was going to react.
Right.
You know, they're worried about that. And I'm like, I welcome those conversations. I'm
and
like, we need to know.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of people. That's why I tell people, like, early on, because I do have this type of conversation. You are hiding that part from me based off your past experience with previous people. But I might like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if I
Let's
like
talk
it.
about it all. Because
I might like it.
we can experience something new together.
Right. So don't be afraid to say the things that you like or the things that you want, because I might like the same thing. You
Yeah.
basing it off the last person that you was
Yeah,
with.
and that's not fair.
That's not. That's
So
not.
that's another thing. Make sure you're taking whatever that, for lack of better words, baggage that you have with you from past relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put that onto the other person.
Yeah.
Because you don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know what they could be dealing with.
Again, I might
what's
like
going
it.
on.
I might like it.
No,
So
I mean,
be
let's have
honest about
conversation.
what you want
Yeah.
up front. Because here's the thing. You can play the role for as long as you play the role, right? I
Mhm.
can act like I'm satisfied with this thing that we do, right? But over time, you're not. It's going to be a problem. You're going to want those things that you have
Yeah.
been hiding
It's
from the
that you
person,
can't hide who you really are.
right?
You
And
know, you really
why?
can't.
Life is short. Listen, get with somebody who like the same shit you like. Say what those things are up front, and that way you guys can be happy together, and you ain't got to start doing this cheating shit, skulking around. Let me tell you
Because
something.
that is how you end up in the cheating section.
I'm
You know?
48. I'm not skulking around doing shit.
I'm not doing it. I ain't got time.
And on top of that, I don't remember shit. So I'm not gonna remember the lie I told you.
Got time to be doing all that. That's the other thing. Like, who got time to be keeping up with what I told you before? And listen,
Tell me what you like up front, because I might like the same thing, honey. That last girl ain't like it, but honey, I might like that. I might like shit.
Hey, bring some shit out for you that you ain't.
That's right.
Bring you to another level that you ain't know you in.
So girl, you got me dropping my cards.
My bad, y'all.
Now let's get to the intimacy. And I'm gonna post
Okay.
these in a group. So this is something that you can talk to with your partner or somebody that you're dating for the first time. What does emotional intimacy mean to you? And how do you cultivate it in your relationship?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I
Yes.
feel like emotional intimacy is different for everyone.
Right. And I feel like you guys need to make sure you're defining it kind of the same.
I don't think I even knew what it was until, I hate to say this, till I was I was separated from my husband. I didn't know what emotional intimacy was until after that, and that's because I got with somebody else who like showed me what that was,
Right.
and I was like, oh, this is
Right.
a thing.
Right.
But yeah, you gotta, yeah,
And you had to be open to it.
yeah. Oh,
You had to be open to
now
it.
me being open to it was something else. Okay, it took me a minute because I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what it was. So I was like, what are you doing?
And that's what goes into, you gotta leave that past shit with the last relationship.
Yeah, it does.
But you don't realize sometimes that you're taking that into the new relationship.
Yeah.
Until the newer person. You don't want to get to the point where the new person pointing it out. But it's good to have a person who understands that you maybe have gone through that situation, and that you need a little time just to kind of.
It's definitely good to be with somebody who
acclimate.
understands that. Yeah, and sometimes you just gotta, get to a therapist, get to your friends,
Yeah.
whoever you need to talk to. Because sometimes a friend will be like, "Listen, sister girl, you kind of a thug. You don't even know what emotions are. Like, why don't you give this man a chance?"
Right.
And definitely had to check me, like,
Yeah.
"No, that's not what. Can you calm down? Because that man's just trying to love on you. Like, what you?" But I was like, why do y'all love on me? What's that? Why you want to know my business? Why you want to know my feelings? Like, what is that about? She was like, that's what normal people do.
Right. That's what it's to be loved.
I was like, oh wow, I didn't know what that was. Okay. So give people just as much as you want it, but give them some grace and some space too, because you don't know what people's last relationships were. But then also be honest about yourself and say, listen, that's not something I want to deal with. Somebody who doesn't know how to accept what it is that I'm giving them.
Because you don't have to stick around for it.
You don't.
Everybody needs to make sure they preface what makes them happy first.
Yeah.
That don't mean you got to put up with that shit. You know what I mean? Now you might give somebody a little grace, but listen, I ain't gonna put up with you abusing me for too goddamn long.
Not too long.
Based off your last relationship.
Not too long.
Okay, so another intimacy question you can ask is: have you ever felt vulnerable while sharing your emotions with a partner?
Mm-hmm.
How did it affect your connection? Ask that and see what kind of answer you get. And again, you can ask that to somebody that you've already been dating for a while.
That shapes a lot of new relationships too.
Those relationships, we get in relationships and we don't even have the meaningful conversations that we should.
That shapes a relationship, whether or not they are, because I know I'll say for me, and I think sometimes for you too, when we try to have those intimate and emotional moments with somebody, if you've already been in a situation where you've given so much of yourself to someone intimately and emotionally in that space, and then it didn't work out and it turned out to almost be like, not even almost, it turned out to be a negative situation almost, where those intimate feelings and emotions are almost used against you, you're going to be a person who's going to be harder to get back to that space. You know what I mean? But give it some time. give it some grace, have these conversations because sometimes, there are great people underneath all that image.
And sometimes you have to give yourself that time and that grace outside of a relationship.
Yes.
Because we real big on trying to replace the last person because you're really trying to replace the hurt.
Yes.
You're trying to replace the hurt that you felt from that person.
Yeah.
Because even if you guys ended amicably, it still hurt because you spent time with that person and you thought it was going to evolve into something. So sometimes you got to give yourself time away from that situation and heal properly and then maybe enter into the dating world. And then you can have these conversations from a place of healing than endless.
Exactly. So go to therapy, as we always tell you.
and at least be self-aware and know that that's your
work on your self-awareness and self-reflection. If you can't afford therapy, of course you can tune into us every Thursday night at 7 p.m. We'll give you what we can. But yeah, take that time.
And I'm going to post these in the group. And great questions to have this conversation started to create an intimacy between you and your partner.
Absolutely.
Or a person that you just start dating.
Absolutely.
So another question is what are the signs that you feel emotionally close to someone?
What are yours?
It's hard. It's hard for me because I'm such an empathic, emotional person.
Yes, you are.
And I feel emotionally connected to everybody. So.
Yes, you do. If y'all only do, I'd be like, girl, what?
I be crying all the time for no reason because so that's the thing that makes me fearful. That's the thing that's always made me fearful, which is why when I was younger, I kept my distance emotionally. You know what I mean? Because I knew that when I fell, I would you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's hard. I'm still trying to figure that out, which is why I'm still kind of chilling and giving myself time to really be like, okay, Ebony, who are you at 48? What do you want? Because I've never been 48 and single. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a new thing. So me trying to figure out who I am, what I want going into this new season is something I really kind of got to do by myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then when I'm really dating, because the dating not making sense to me no more, y'all. I don't know what the hell, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Like it's weird. So you really got to know yourself going into it because it's weird.
But what do you want for intimacy though? What are your non-negotiables? Let's say that.
Intimacy for me now, because again, I've always avoided it. So I never did the flowers and the run the bath for me and to be affectionate. I avoided all that stuff. So now the basics that maybe somebody else has always had is what I wanted.
Were you avoiding it, or were you?
I was avoiding it.
Okay.
Purpose. Like I dated assholes on purpose because I knew I wouldn't fall for them.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that was my whole history. So now I got to balance it because now I'm trying to. I just kind of all in with somebody, and I'm not trying to do that either. But I want the basics because I never allowed the basics. So I want to be held. I want flowers for no reason. I want my bath ran. I don't need clothes and shoes and you know what I'm saying? I just want to feel loved. I want to know that I'm thought about when you're not around.
When we're not together. Right?
But I also need you to understand that I need space too. Right. Like I need the time to be by myself. But I just want that.
You want to be cared for.
I want to be cared for. You know what I mean? That's what I want to feel cared for. We all do.
Don't we all?
It is. She want to be cared for.
They want to be cared for. Hello? And that means financially too. Okay.
Well, I didn't say that.
I did. Hello? Okay. I'm going to add that in there. As a friend, financially, you better have it together. Okay.
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when emotional intimacy deepened your romantic connection with someone? Now, what if they say never? Like that for me, it'd be never. Is that a detractor?
Emotional intimacy. So are we talking like? I don't know. That's a rough one for me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That'd be is that something that will be a red flag for you? Like if somebody say, "Oh my God, I've never had an emotional deep connection with somebody," would you be like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying? Because both of us can't be that. Yeah. One of us has to be. For me, because I've never really done it. So the other person got to be somebody who is capable of that. Because you got to help me a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think that's what it is for me. It's a little awkward. I mean, I don't want to say awkward. It's interesting for us because it's a little bit more. He's a more emotional, but let me be very clear. He's not emotional. I don't want y'all think he's around here crying all the time. Some sense of love, no, because I don't do that. But I'm saying he's more in tune with emotions than I am.
Right, and I think that's necessary for balance.
Yeah, it is because I'd be like, and he'd be like, okay, well, let's sit down and talk about this a little bit more because
And me, I cry at cartoons. So, you gotta.
No, I
Not
didn't.
in cry no Lion King.
Not me.
No.
Even at 5 years old in the movie
Now
theater,
I
it
might
came
cry.
out, I didn't cry.
But back then I didn't
No.
cry. But now I
Um,
cry. That Publix commercial get me every time. That damn Publix commercial with that little girl call her stepdad dad for the first time. You see
Oh
what
no, that is
I
that
cry
is a good
every
commercial.
time. Girl, I cry every time.
But that's a good commercial. Because when I was like, oh,
It
so
is.
sweet.
So I need somebody who can balance, who can balance being that rock that I need, but also who can just hold me when I need to. It got to be both for me. He has to be emotionally connected. I'm looking for healthy foreign relationship.
Yes.
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 Yes. I like that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Put some more comments up.
Yeah, we can people sing. Okay, come on, let's go ahead. Because listen, we've been all talking y'all, but
Okay.
we got excited with this topic.
Okay. I'm 45. I'll teach what pleases me, but at our age, they should know the basics. Get it together.
Agreed.
Get it together.
Agreed. So they should know what's up.
You posted this somewhere, right? Yes. I'm gonna post these questions too. These questions and the sex versus intimacy section.
She said both. Yeah, let's
I
definitely because I want to see the
put 'em
responses to these.
Shit, you better tell me some, cuz with a lot of the shit.
Okay, Trina, I know Trina with the shits. I'm here for it. Go ahead, Trina.
Right, let's go.
I know Trina. Trina with it.
I'm definitely gonna post these questions because these are good questions to have with the person that you're intimate with. Because again, we it's so easy sometimes for us to be intimate with somebody but not have intimacy conversations, and that I think that is a pattern that should be broken. If you're capable of sharing your body with somebody, then you should be able to have intimate conversations with them
all the time. Because really, you should. You give up you giving up all the holes in your body. Giving up conversation.
We sweating, we share saliva, but we can't have a fluid. But we can't have a conversation, and we should be able to sit down and say, hey, what does intimacy mean to you?
Yeah.
Because the definitions matter.
Yeah.
If I have a different definition of intimacy than you have, and we're seeing each other, then it's gonna be a problem at some point.
Definitely gonna be.
Because I'm gonna expect you to fulfill my intimacy definition this way, but you don't even know what that is because I haven't talked to you about it, and you're thinking that you're fulfilling it because I haven't talked to you about it, and you haven't told me what that means. The love language. Our love language it don't have to be the same, but it should be on the same wavelength.
There just needs to be conversations because then always for relationships, I feel like one of the biggest downfalls is always unmet expectations. You have some kind of expectation in your mind of what it is that you're looking for in this relationship,
right? And
this other person does too, and you guys are not communicated, and neither one of the expectations are now being met, and now we're upset and we're not together.
Right? Because we didn't have
a conversation.
I mean, simple conversations would solve so many problems.
Yes.
But our pride, our ego, and being afraid at the person's response is what stops us from having those conversations. No, listen, if you can stick your penis in me, honey, you can be emotional with me.
That part.
You can be vulnerable with me.
That part.
And especially for men, because again, I feel like we don't, a lot of times, society as a whole, we don't create that space for men to be vulnerable and to know that it's okay for them to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean that's fine. You're perfect.
I want you to be. I love that.
Yes,
I want you to be.
Put some more conversation. I feel like we've been talking.
It's been good though. It's been good. What are the people saying? Who else?
That's right.
We want the people to know we trying to address them. And I'm sorry if we can't get to everybody's comments. We got a lot.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very important topic. I'm so thankful. I can watch y'all talk about this. Love it. Thank y'all. No problem.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm definitely going to post those questions. Definitely going to post it. Do not be afraid to ask these questions and have these conversations.
Yeah.
Definitely intimacy. First, I'm sapiosexual.
Yes.
So you got to get my mind before I allow you to experience my body.
That's me.
And that's where I am now. And that's what's interesting. Even as old as I am, I've never been there before, but I'm there now. And it's a new, as long as you living and you breathing, honey, you learning.
You learning.
And that's it. Now that I'm older, sex feels like a job. I definitely need create intimacy. Yes, that you said that perfectly, Trina. Because let me tell you something. She
read that last sentence for me one more time
before I pop this pee.
She said, "Just pop a bottle of something before I pop this pee." Come on, Trina, that's my girl.
That's right, because me and my husband used to get into it because he felt like because we were married, he was old sex. You're not old. You're not old in my body because we're in a relationship. I'm still a person. You know what I mean? You're not old sex. Now, I do understand that sex is a part of a relationship, but you're not old. or give me something. You know,
Yeah.
put like 2 more comments in before we go.
All right, y'all, we gotta wrap it up. We've been talking y'all for over an hour, but this has been a good time.
This has been a good time.
I feel like we're gonna need a part 2 at some point.
I
This
know
is good.
I used to do it for stress. At times, not the best mechanism I'm working on. Yes.
Yes,
I feel that.
some time with
Child,
yourself.
sometimes it was me for to have a bed to sleep in. I was homeless, so shit. I screw a dude just to have
Take
sleep in
some
his
time
bed.
with yourself, breathe, figure out what the things that you like and other things that can help you to de-stress, so you don't feel like it has to be sex.
Well, it could certainly start out as fun, but of course, things definitely move fast when the chemistry is strong and the people are dope. Feelings will come sooner or later with time. You can only hold that back for so long. Yes, unfortunately, stuff we can't control happens, like moving. And of course, we can certainly mess up the stuff we can control. But in the end, I love that woman and appreciated her. I should have told her when I had the chance. Life is crazy, but you learn. And you know what? I don't know who that is, but if it's meant for you, it's gonna come back around. If it's meant for you, it's gonna come back around. Whoever it's gonna, if it's meant for you, it's gonna come back around. If it's not that person, then the right person is gonna come back around because now you know.
Right.
You had that experience and now you know. And I love that.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a part 2 to this
We're gonna
subject.
have to because it's so good. And we can go on. We can keep going. There's a lot of comments. We can keep going, but we gotta wrap it up.
We gotta wrap it up, y'all. It's been an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post the questions. There was more questions on here. I'm gonna post the sex questions that you can add to have those sex conversations, and then the intimacy questions. And then I have of sex versus intimacy, and where it's divided up into different categories.
Nice.
So you can have that too. So for right now, we're still located at 25 North Market Street. For right now,
but just know big things are happening.
yes. And the Body Positive Show is happening November 4th. Tickets are available on sale. We'll post the link into the group.
Get your tickets now. Look at me, focus. Because once the tickets are out, they're gone. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't text Pug. Don't text Sierra. Don't text any of our models. Once the tickets are gone, they're gone. And I'm going to say I told you so. That's it.
Yes. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Puff Mistress. And follow Let's Talk About It at Puff_Let's Talk About It on Instagram. That's our new page.
We got our new Instagram.
And YouTube. Our YouTube channel is up and running. All of the episodes, the whole season. We had a whole first season already, y'all. The first season will be uploaded. I will put in a group when all of the episodes from the first season is up there, and we will start working on season 2.
Y'all not ready.
Y'all ain't ready. But we love you guys, and I still mean my word. Once we make it the late night, I'm taking what I said, 10 people.
She said
I'm flying 10 people out to our studio whenever we make it the late night, and I mean that. 10 people who are the consistent watchers, and I mean it. Okay, love you guys. And our next subject is going to be the look subject. We're going to talk about looks and the role that it plays in relationships.
What is that one, real quick? You want to try to say what it is real quick?
That was it.
I thought it was longer than that.
Oh, that's
oh, just kidding. How important are looks in your relationship?
Yes, join the group.
Like
Puff Mistress Presents. Let's talk about it on Facebook. Join the group, and that's where we have the conversation first before we post.
Y'all see how official we are? Look at our little banner at the bottom. We like CNN or some shit. Look at that.
Listen, stay tuned, y'all. We got some.
Like I said, we taking over from the Jimmys.
About to happen, honey.
Heard it here first. We're taking over from the Jimmys. Okay, we ain't playing.
Love you guys so much for watching us every week, and we will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. at Puff Mistress Presents. Let's talk about it. Bye.